Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another Thoughts video on the channel, and this time it's going to be about the Terraria 1.4 Journey's End patch. You might notice I'm wearing my headphones and I've got my mic in the image and all that kind of stuff. Just got done streaming, so just going off with this this setup here. Yeah, so Terraria 1.4 is the final content update patch of Terraria that most likely will ever exist. They will be doing, like tweaks and stuff with like bug fixes and things like that. I think they're already up to 1.4.4 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the game. I have played the game once before. That was in 1.3 back in 2015 is when I played the game. Whenever the 1.3 patch was, I believe it was 2015. Maybe like in the summer or something. It was the first time I ever played Terraria. I played it on normal, but I only played it until right after the Wall of Flesh, which is the boss that opens up hard mode, which, let's talk about the name. It should not be called hard mode. It should be, I don't know, they should give it a different name, because hard mode is generally referred to games as a harder difficulty of playing the same game, but it's not the same game. Once you beat the Wall of Flesh, the world changes. Everything gets, there's new materials, there's new monsters, there's new bosses and everything like that. So it's not really hard mode, it's just a continuation of the same game. It's just the next part of the game gets unlocked. But it's in the same world, so I guess that's kind of, it's like, what do you call it, really? But that's as far as I ever played it before in 1.3, was after Wall of Flesh. I think we did a little bit of mining stuff. I played with a good friend of mine, and that was about it. We didn't do any bosses in hard mode. So fast forward 5 years, 2020, to the 1.4 Journey's End release. Played Terraria again. We played it on the new difficulty called Master, which is the hardest difficulty in the game. Monsters have more health and they do more damage. But we played on Classic. Again, I played with my good friend of mine. And Classic is your only consequence of death is you lose your money. It drops. But you can get all your money back. It either falls on the ground or mobs will pick it up and you can kill the mob, and then the mob will give you all their money back. Not hardcore enough to play medium core or even hardcore. Not doing that. Too many traps and things like that will just one-shot you if you're not careful and see those. So yeah, Terraria is Terraria. If you've ever played Terraria before, you know exactly what to expect with this. The main things with the 1.4 patch is the new difficulty with Master, as well as there's a lot more mounts and pets. So Master does not offer any new power to the game from Expert, whereas Expert does offer new items that are actually can increase the power of your character. That's not available in normal. I think it's still called Classic. You get Classic character and a Classic difficulty. Anyway, but we decided to play it on the hardest difficulty, Master, and it was great. It was absolutely wonderful. We completed everything in the game. Hard mode, passed Wall of Flesh, defeated every single boss, including the new bosses. So that's the other thing that they included. They included a couple new bosses. There's the Queen Slime, as well as, which is more like a boss that can be done pretty early on in hard mode. And then there's the Empress of Light, which is arguably... There's two versions of the Empress of Light. You can fight the Empress of Light normal at nighttime, like any boss. She's probably a boss you want to beat right before the lunar events, along with like all the other ones. So after Golem, you probably want to do Frost Moon event, the Halloween event. That's when that's when you can take care of Empress. But if you want to fight her, the enraged version, she'll drop guaranteed an item called the Terra Prisma, which is a summoner weapon, which summons a bunch of swords that'll come attack, and they go through walls, which anybody who plays a summoner knows when your pets can go through walls, that's super powerful. The enraged version means any one of her attacks is a one-shot. Generally, you probably want to wait until after you've beaten Moonlord to defeat her in enraged mode, which is what we did. We both had Zenith Blades, and yeah, we had like the best stuff in the game. So it was pretty cool. Terraria is great. Everything about it is great. It's a very high addiction. All the stuff that's being said, I'm seeing. The game is absolutely incredible. It has amazing crafting, RPG, carrot on the stick. I do want to touch on some of the things that I don't like about the game. One of the things that I do think it could really have used some touch-ups, but you gotta keep in mind the game is technically very old. is the crafting window and the UI for your inventory and the system for organizing the NPCs and stuff. I think would have been very nice if they would have made it a lot better. That being said, you know, it's not a big deal to me, but I know a lot of people have complained about it, and I totally understand. It's very clunky, it looks terrible, it feels terrible, but it is what it is. There's really not much I can really say about the game otherwise, though, that it's not just, the game's great. Amazing RPG curve, tons of items, tons of mobs, tons of bosses. It's absolute fun. The game is incredibly fun, even more so with friends. So if you have friends to play Terraria with, I highly recommend that. But keep in mind, this game is a time sink, and your time is going to evaporate. Lately, I generally only stream 5 to 6 hours a day. When I was playing Terraria, I was playing 12 to 16 hours a day. I put in almost 200 hours in Terraria in a little over a week. So, you know, the game is absolutely bonkers. Yeah, the game's really cheap, I believe, on Steam for only about $10 or something like that. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend you play with a friend. But even solo, the game is incredible. Yeah, that's Terraria, man. It's so good, dude. It's a 2D pixel art crafter survival RPG boss killing, ends up being a bullet hell game.